Hey everyone, I recently bought my first house and it got me thinking about all the different expenses in buying a home versus renting. So with that, I created this calculator that you're looking at now, which compares the cost of renting versus the cost of buying. And a common rule that people have used is the 5% rule, which our rule will be in row 25. And the 5% rule, which is a credit to Ben Felix, I'll link his video about the 5% rule from 2019 in the description, is basically a way that you can compare your monthly rent versus your monthly home expenses and opportunity costs. So this spreadsheet is pretty self-explanatory. You can see that the yellow cells will be a manual input and the blue cells will be a formula. And I'm just going to go from top to bottom, filling this out as we get to our final recommendation, which, as I'll talk about, is not as simple as rent versus buy just based off of the numbers. There are a lot of other factors that come into play as well, but we'll get to that later on. So let's say, for example, that the home we are thinking about buying is $500,000, so we will enter that in the home purchase price. In mortgage rates, according to Freddie Mac's weekly mortgage rate averages as of June 25th, 2026, for a 30-year fixed rate mortgage are 6.49%. So for our example, we'll just make it simple and say 6.5%, but you would adjust this for whichever rate you're able to get based on your location and your timing. The down payment percentage, the recommended and common amount is 20%, so we'll go with that. You could do a lower amount, but most financial advisors would not recommend doing so. So you can see our first few formulas are filling in. We have a down payment of $100,000 and then a loan amount of $400,000. I'll mention this a few times, but this is not an exact formula. Of course, there are other things that will be factored in, such as your closing costs, but this will get us a rough estimate. So next up, we have the property tax section of our spreadsheet. And basically, the property tax percentage will be equal to the amount of property taxes you pay in a year divided by your home's purchase price. And your property tax rate will vary based off of a few factors, most notably where you live. So I just found this study from Rocket Mortgage from 2024. And since I live in Connecticut, we will use Connecticut's effective tax rate of 1.54%. So going back to our spreadsheet, I will enter 1.54%. And we have an annual property tax amount of $7,700. Next up, we have the maintenance component. And this is just budgeting amounts you'll have to save or pay for repairs to your property. There are different schools of thought as to how you should go about doing this. But this article from Investopedia suggests a minimum of 1% and up to 4% of your home's value. I've seen a lot of people say just 1% or just 2%. Usually I don't see as high as 4%. So for the sake of our spreadsheet, we will go with a 2% amount, which gives us $10,000 a year budgeted towards maintenance. So those are the simple parts of this formula, the property tax amount and the maintenance amount, just using percentages based off of some national averages, state and national averages. But that brings us to our opportunity costs. So we have opportunity cost number 1 and opportunity cost number 2. And our first opportunity cost is assuming that the money that we put down on the house could have been invested instead. So according to historical averages, the annualized rate of return with dividends reinvested and inflation adjusted in the U.S. stock market is 7.573%. So we will be a little bit conservative and round that down to 7%. So this formula is assuming that if we did not buy the house, we would be investing the money at a 7% yield. Meanwhile, if we do buy the house and we look at our home appreciation, national averages in the United States often fall within the 3% to 5% range annually. And we will lean towards the more conservative end of that range. So let's assume that our home appreciates by an average of 3% each year. And as you can see, this leads us to an opportunity cost of $4,000. So the 4% difference between what we are getting versus what we could be getting from our money times the down payment of $100,000. So $100,000 times 4%, an opportunity cost of $4,000. But there's more than just the down payment opportunity cost. It's also our interest payment each year that has an opportunity cost. So this interest formula is basically taking the loan amount of $400,000 times the mortgage rate of 6.5%. And interest is a little more complicated than that, of course. But to simplify things for this spreadsheet and this tool, we will be using that simple interest calculation. So this means that we expect to pay $26,000 of interest annually. And this $26,000 times our average investment yield in the US stock market of 7% gets us to $1,820 that we could be making each year if we had invested that interest amount. So with all of that, we now get to our rule, which is showing as 9.54%. And this is just the sum of our property tax, maintenance, opportunity cost, 1 and 2 percentages. So instead of the 5% rule, we are showing a 9.54% rule with updated numbers. So in terms of dollars, our break-even point is $3,975. This is coming from our home's purchase price times our 9.54% rule. And this, of course, is broken down by month. And just for example, if you use the 5% rule instead, you would see a break-even point of just over $2,000. But we will go with our 9.54% that we calculated. And then the final step here, if you would like to do this part, is look at monthly rent. So let's say our monthly rent potentially is $4,000. Because that amount is higher than our break-even point, the recommendation is to buy. Whereas if rent was, say, $3,500, the recommendation would be to rent because our break-even point is higher than what we would pay in monthly rent. And this really should not be treated as law. There are many other factors in your rent versus buy decision. There's a lot of value to owning just besides the dollar amount. It's your home, and you can't really put a price on that at the end of the day. It's also hard to save up for an eventual house when you're spending your money on rent each month. There are also certain tax benefits potentially when you pay mortgage interest. And of course, your home could appreciate to much higher levels. On the other hand, renting also has some hidden benefits that you don't see in the numbers. Most notably is it's often hard for people to save all that money for a down payment, so renting is just an easier option. And you're not locked into one place as much as you would be if you were to buy. There's a lot more flexibility and mobility in renting. Oftentimes, you just have to wait until your lease is up. Usually that's 1 year, and then you can move somewhere else. So with all that being said, the main point here is that renting versus buying is not an obvious decision. This calculator will go a long way in helping you determine what the right decision is, because people often forget to think about the opportunity cost of what you would be investing in otherwise. But again, like my note says at the bottom, this is not a final recommendation. There are many other factors that you have to consider for yourself. So I will leave a link to this spreadsheet in the description. Just remember when you click on that link to hit file and then make a copy, because you won't be able to edit the template. And let me know in the comments what you guys think about the renting versus buying decision and what factors are most important to you. So I hope you enjoyed. Thanks for watching. If you made it to the end, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.